Hi everybody, it's Steve from the Carers Centre for Brighton and Hove here, and this is another session that we're recording as part of Carers Rights Day, the 26th of November 2020. So earlier on today we had a session looking at the digital resource for carers, and you can find a copy of that recording on our YouTube channel. And this session now is actually looking at something that's kind of like the counterpart to the digital resource for carers. So that is specifically for individual carers. And I want to look now at something that is more aimed at employers and staff within a company who actually have responsibilities such as HR people or line managers, where they're looking at things like diversity and equality and making sure that anyone that is a carer within the company is treated in the correct way, because there are actually statutory requirements that relate to carers. So the way that I'm going to do this session, hopefully it'll only be about 10 minutes or so, is that I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to log in to the Employers for Carers scheme. Just to outline it very, very briefly, it's a scheme that's created by Carers UK, but it's almost like a separate branch of Carers UK. And it's something that for us in Brighton is provided by our city council. There are two main sort of levels to this as well. So the Employers for Carers scheme is available to any company that has less than 250 employees, and through Brighton and Hove City Council, it's free. If the company has more than 250 employees, then you actually have to pay for it yourself directly with Employers for Carers, and there's a scalable list of charges which can be found on their own website, or you could speak to one of their advisors, or you could speak to me and I could direct you to the relevant site. So I'm going to share my screen now, and hopefully everything will work nicely. It's been working well so far today. So you should be able to see the Employers for Carers login screen. Now, I'm already logged into this site, but if this is the first time that you're actually going to look here, maybe you're thinking of joining, what you would need to do is you would need to go to this area here, so where it says create new account. So ignore this part for the moment. You'd look at this bit, create new account. And the actual address, the URL address up here is efcdigital, which is all one word, .org. So you don't actually need the next bit about login, etc. That just happens to bring you directly to the login page. So it's efcdigital.org. That's what you're searching for. Once you've done that and you've hit the mouse button or the enter button or whatever, it will bring you to this page, and then go to create a new account, set your account up. It's a little bit more complex than the digital resource for carers, which really only asks for an email address, a password, and an access code. This asks a little bit more information about the company, so you need to know that. Once you've done that and you've set yourself up, then you can basically come back here whenever you want, and you'll get an email that to whatever email address you've supplied that confirms that you are now a member of the EFC. You won't get any more emails. You won't get spammed or anything like that. So don't think that by signing up for something like this, your company or you individually are suddenly going to get an awful lot of emails coming through. So I'm already signed up to this, so I'm just going to log in, and we will see what we actually get to, what the resources are, what we get to see as a member. I should mention as well that to access the Employers for Carers scheme through Brighton and Hove City Council, you need an access code. I will just find the access code now, and then I will be able to give that to you. And what I'll do is I'll give that to you at the end. So I'm just checking that I've got it here. Yeah, that's there. So when we log in, this is the screen that we first see, and you can see it's got Employers for Carers up here. It's via Carers UK, and for us here in Brighton, it's also specifically provided via Brighton and Hove City Council. And then whatever name you've given when you log in, you'll see up here, and this is also where you can log out. So what have we actually got on here? Well, we've got this header here about supporting carers at work and how it makes business sense. And it certainly does, because retaining employees, making sure that you don't lose people that have got a lot of experience because they suddenly have to go and provide much more care for somebody, perhaps within their household or a neighbour or someone like that. It's quite a valuable thing to be able to say, no, let's be flexible. Let's retain these employees. The sections here, as you can see, if I just move this screen up a little bit, we've got some resources for employers and line managers. So we've got some information about facts and figures. We've got an employer's guide, and we've got a manager's handbook. So this site is very much tailored towards the employer, the manager, the HR person, actually understanding the legal aspects of a carer within their employ, and then how they can support them. It says here, essential guide for working carers, and it's got a carer's guide. If I actually go on to this, so if I go onto the picture and I click on that, what you'll see is that although it says that it's a carer's guide, it's actually aimed at the line manager with information about looking after carers within their teams or their departments. So it's not technically a carer's guide. It's a guide to carers within their departments. I'll just come back out of that. Here, though, this is actually a little bit more tailored for the carer themselves. So it's around requesting flexible working. Flexible working is something that carers should be able to do. And they probably, some will do it, and they'll be proactive about it, but they may come to your HR department and they may say, I want to request flexible working. I've got a change in circumstances. I need to know what I can do. And if you're not aware of what your own company policy is, but also what statute says, then you may end up sort of not providing what is needed, both for yourselves and also for the carer. So here, this is a guide to requesting flexible working, and within it, it has a template that carers can use that whenever they want to request flexible working. You'll also see on here that it's got some e-learning courses. Carers UK are very, very good at providing e-learning as part of their packages. And here we've got staff induction, which in today's world is often called onboarding, but effectively it's getting people into your company and letting them know what goes on. So that's quite a good one for you. Some e-learning for line managers. So I would say, particularly if you're a new line manager and you possibly not come across working carers before, this could be an essential thing to go through. And then also about being carer aware. So if I just click on that, so we can just have a quick look at that. You can see, because this is an e-learning course, it gives us a little bit of information there about the session itself, but to actually access it, we've got to then enter into the e-learning itself. So I don't want to do that now, but it says after completing this course, you'll be able to identify carers, recognize the impact of caring, understand the support carers need, and understand how to help carers better. Those are all valuable things in terms of being able to retain employees, but also when you're recruiting. We're going through a pandemic at the moment. There are people that are losing jobs. There are many people that will be applying for positions as they come up. We're hearing stories about people that they advertise bar work and they get 500 applicants for one job. So if you can imagine being a part of an HR department or being a manager in a department that has to make a decision about hiring, actually understanding this and understanding what it means to hire someone who has caring responsibilities and how you shouldn't be discriminating against anyone that has care responsibilities is a valuable thing to know. I'm going to come back out of that. And then just very quickly, just to show you the other areas that are covered within the scheme. So we've got the law, the legal aspects. We've got employer toolkits. There's a number of toolkits there. And we've also got good practice. So if I just pick one of those, if I pick the employer toolkits and just click on that so that you can have a quick look, you'll see there's a whole range of information here, and also there's guides to policy. There's information about how to engage with carers when they're within your workforce, and also, I think quite crucially, this managing bereavement toolkit, because many people that start caring for somebody whilst they're at a workplace, it could be that the person they're caring for is in an end of life situation. And I know from my own personal experience as a manager with an end of life situation, it's one of the toughest conversations that you can ever have with somebody, knowing what to say, when to say it, what has to be said. So having that managing bereavement toolkit, I personally think is very valuable. You can see there's a whole load of information here. There's information about dementia, contingency management. One of the things that we often do in business is we have plan B and sometimes plan C. And if this year has shown us anything, it's the fact that we need to have a plan B and a plan C. Carers have to have that as well. And you as a manager of somebody that may be a carer, you will have to have that as well. So again, those toolkits, very valuable. I'll come back out of there. The main idea of this session is not for me to go through every item. It's for me to give a very brief overview so that if you're interested in actually signing your company up, or perhaps even coming in and looking at the digital resource for carers, which is much more individual carer oriented, at least you will know that you can contact me or you can contact us here at the Carers Centre, and we can point you in the right direction. We can help you with signing up. If you're a larger organisation, please come and speak to me. I can put you in touch with the people that you would need to speak to at the Employers for Carers organisation. That's pretty much everything, except I did say that I was going to tell you about the access code. So if you are an employer that has less than 250 employees and you're within the Brighton and Hove city area, then you can access the Employers for Carers toolkit. So everything I've just shown you, by registering using the following code. So uppercase letters, EFC 1497. So we've got 3 uppercase letters, EFC, and the access code after that with no spaces is 1497. So when you're prompted for an access code, when you're registering, EFC 1497. The letters must be uppercase though. If anybody has any questions and they've viewed this and they want to know more about it, please contact me at the Carers Centre. And if I go back to the opening page, I'll just log out. You'll see my email address is there. It's steve.castellari@thecarerscentre.org. Alternatively, if you can't remember my name, you could phone us. So the Carer Centre is 01273 746 222. That's 01273, it's Brighton code, 746 222. Or you can email in to the Carer Centre as a whole by emailing info@thecarerscentre, all one word, .org, O-R-G. So that's info@thecarerscentre.org. And if you do email into us or you call us, please ask to speak to Steve about either the digital resource for carers or the Employers for Carers scheme. Thanks very much, everybody. And please send those questions through to me if you've got them.